Hi guys, hello everyone. Thank you for coming to ETHVC Summit and Pitch Fest. Yeah, I'm very happy to have all of you today, and it's great. I'm very honored and very excited. So yeah, today is actually not about competition, and also not about prizes. So what's that? So it's actually learning and connecting, and also feedbacks. So through all the session, you will meet and VCs from worldwide, and also like we will have amazing the pitching session, and plus that we will have the ecosystem presentation, which is our valuable partners. So yeah, today I'm very excited to be here, and thank you for coming here today. So yeah, before starting, I want to ask everyone, who is founder here? If you're a founder, oh, a lot of people. That's amazing. And who is a VC investor? Yes. You know, this is a moment to connect. Later on, we have a networking session. It's a great opportunity. And who is from ecosystem? Yeah? Yes. Guys, this is a place to connect everyone. So I'm very excited to see all the sparks, right? So, okay. Before starting, I would like to, let me just check. Yes. So I'd like to explain about the overview. So first, we will have the ecosystem presentation. That is a session to know about ecosystem, each ecosystem. Today we can see like Pharos and SuperNet and Alio. So with them, if you are looking for something to build, that is going to be a great opportunity. Yeah, and next, second session is going to be VC part. You will see the panel discussion from VC. That is a great opportunity to learn. And the last, third part is a most exciting part. That is a pitch fest. So today we will see who's having a great opportunity to pitch. And if you're founder here, you know, you guys are founder a lot here. So and you guys can learn how to pitch as well. Right, and yeah, without further ado, let's move forward for the next. So yeah, today I want to welcome the founder of Akindo, yeah, and who is actually start the whole journey today. Yeah, yeah, please welcome the Kinjo.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi. Yeah. Welcome to the ETHDenver 2026 and ETHVC plus Pitch Fest. Actually, my name is Kinjo, founder of Akindo, which is organized this program. So it's very honor to collaborate and stand here on the Futurama stage with Bafcom Ventures and founders and investors and ecosystem partners. Yeah, I believe today is about the real founders, and today is about the startups, and today is about the next wave of the crypto. Yeah, actually, I believe that. So yeah, before the main program, let me explain what we do as a organizer. Yeah, Akindo is the world first founder success platform. We exist is one simple reason to help founders win. Yeah, not just build, not just pitch, but actually succeed. Yeah, over the past few years, so we've collaborated like a major conference around the world. We create opportunity where founders can connect with investors, users, and ecosystem partners. Yeah, because success doesn't happen in isolation. Yeah, it happens through connection. Yeah, this is the last 2 years. We also organize a showcase event as well. Yeah, as you can see, we partnered with leading global conferences. And not only just ETHDenver team, ACC, DevConnect, DevCon, and yeah, many more. So we've hosted demo event and investor showcase event across the continents. Yeah, so and today, yeah, we are proud to collaborate with the East Denver team. Yeah, this stage represents global momentum. Yeah, actually. So, but Akindo is not only about offline opportunities. So we also provide financial support. Yeah, of course, yeah, because like exposure is powerful, but like a capital, yeah, accelerates the like a growth for startups, right? So yeah, through Akindo, we can provide founders gain like three things: fundraising from top tier VC and investors, our partners, and exposure opportunity, a major global conferences, yeah, like today's actually, and direct support from top tier ecosystems. This is what founder success look like. For example, after my speech, yeah, you'll hear from Ario. Yeah, we are running a privacy build-a-thon with Ario team. Build-a-thon is not just like a one-time event, kind of hackathon. This is a structured growth program for founders, builders. Have you ever heard like a build-a-thon? What is build-a-thon? Yeah, actually, so build-a-thon is our core concept. We created this concept as a founder success platform. Build-a-thon is a focused long-term approach and creates the business, real business, not just like a demo product for like a prize and pitches, yeah, kinds of hackathons. Yeah, this goal, our goal is so simple: to generate killer apps, expand the blockchain technology to the common people. Yeah, real products, real users, real attractions. Yeah, which is our focus areas. And yeah, actually, I believe so. Build-a-thon concept covers all kinds of traditional approach, not only hackathons, like a grant program, acceleration program, and like an incubation program. Yeah, I believe actually Build-a-thon covered all areas as a full funnel builder activation concept. And yeah, here's the powerful part. Actually, I believe top teams from our Build-a-thons not just get like a support from ecosystem, they get invited to our deal room. Inside the deal room, they connect directly with partner VCs, our partner VCs like Spartan, Multicoin, 1KX, IOSG, and many more. So this is where fundraising conversation begins. This is our support. And yeah, we continue to support founders beyond this stage, beyond this opportunity. If you are building something serious, if you want the connect top tier ecosystems, and if you want to invest across, yeah, please stay connected with Akindo. Yeah, follow us and join to our Build-a-thon and enter the deal room. Yeah. Okay, finally. Now I'm so excited, introduce our ecosystem partners. Pharos, yeah, for tokenization. Ario for privacy. Supernet for AI. Yeah, they are building the infrastructure for next generations. And together, yeah, we are launching Build-a-thons to create the next killer apps for expand our industry. Okay, yeah, please welcome our partner. Thank you. Yeah, next is Pharos. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is David. I'm a Chief Strategy Officer at Pharos. So Pharos is an upcoming Ethereum-compatible L1 that is focusing on RealFi. For the next 10 minutes, I'm going to explain what is RealFi, what is Pharos, why we're here today, and where we're heading to. Hopefully, by the end of this short session, you'll find the information informative. And then very looking forward to building Ethereum and then the Pharos ecosystem together with all of you. Let me start with what is a RealFi. So our definition of RealFi is really the real asset, real yield, and then real users. That doesn't mean that the others are like fake asset, fake yield. Our definition of real is more about the sustainability. I think in the past year or two, RWB has been a hot topic, but everybody has been seeing that a lot of assets has been tokenized on chain, but as a static assets, there's no transactions, there's no use cases. Once the people purchase it, it's just hold to maturity. That transaction does not require a blockchain. That transaction can be perfectly handled in the off-chain world. So how do we basically make those assets as active assets? So that's the core question we're trying to address. The second question we're trying to address is the yield. So everybody has been asking for where is the liquidity? Who's going to purchase those RW assets? And we have been seeing that the liquidity source has been extremely expensive, particularly before like October last year. Easily, if you're looking for USDC on chain, that will cost you probably 12, 15%. So in some extreme cases, we've been even seeing like 20+%. But is that true? Is that the really cost of capital on chain? I think that's not necessary. We have been talking to many institutions, endowment funds, pension funds, family offices, institutions, all have interest in coming here, and then their cost of capital is significantly lower. It's even so, in some cases higher single digit, and in some of cases even lower single digits. They're very happy to take the assets that is well managed, full transparent, has utility on chain with much lower cost of capital. So the real yield doesn't really require a lot of artificial yield aggregations. We have seen a lot of use cases built on top of layers of incentives from tokens after the token, and then it's just simply not sustainable. Sustainable in a way, if you're thinking you're pitching that assets to a pension fund or to a larger institutional investors, it's really hard to even pass their investment policy. The question they will ask is this asset really scalable? Is this asset really sustainable? Can I still hold these assets in my portfolio after 2 years? And then is this thing can go up to like $1 billion or 10 billion? And then many times the answer is no. So that's the real asset and the real yield we're looking for. And then the real users we're hoping is not just the institutions. It's the day-to-day users like you and me. We're finding a way to introducing a channel to bring the real users here to actually utilizing those assets in their daily financial world. So that's our definition of RealFi. And what we at Pharos, we're building this infrastructure and ecosystem to support this concept. We're certainly starting with a high-performance chain, which I won't go into every single details, but just wanted to highlight a few things. One is it's a EVM compatible chain. It has up to 300K TPS. We can actually do transactions less than 1 second. This thing is built on top of the End tech stack, which, if you're familiar with End and Alibaba, their technology is actually capable for e-commerce. So this chain is actually today is ready for a larger e-commerce type of transaction settlement. So it's a high-performance chain. In addition to the chains, we also have a robust ecosystem, even before we have launched the public chain, mainnet today. So I'm definitely not going to go into the name by name, and this is just the selective of the partners that we've been working with today. But we will have the native USDC, we will have the institutional custodians, we will have MPC, we have the multiple major bridge providers, we have all the major, basically the DeFi players that partner with us, Morpho, for example, and then the asset issue like Centrifuge, wallet like OKX wallet like Topknot. So we have all the top tier ecosystem partners that building with us on this RealFi concept in this Pharos ecosystem. Since our launch of the testnet back in 2024, May, we have been able to get 2.9 million of authenticated users. We've been able to have over almost like 3 million website monthly visitors. We have had over 200 million unique addresses, and then the block time is at 0.2 seconds. Now, this is why we are here. So Pharos, as an open ecosystem, we have our incubators. We have set aside $10 million for our incubators with our partners, with Draper Dragon, with Faction, with ETHVC, as well as with ecosystem partners like Centrifuge. We wanted to build this ecosystem with you. We set aside capitals, resources, manpower, tech stack to help to build this entire system. And not only just on the capital and resources perspective. I think at the end of the day, Pharos is a demand engine. Whatever you build, we hope to find the demand on this chain. And the demand, what I mean by that is the liquidities, is the users, is the use cases. We have wallet to introducing the users. We have institutional partnership to introducing the low cost of capitals. We have our partners to providing the various tech stack, and then all the institutional toolkits you need to build your use cases. And then I would encourage you to scan and apply through that QR code on the lower right corner. We have a team that will be dedicatedly reviewing all the requests, the information, applications. We're eager to hearing from you and wanting to build together on Pharos ecosystem. And then lastly, we're heading to in the 2026. We certainly, first of all, we're going to open up our public mainnet by mid-April. And then our goal is to be the #1 RealFi, WealthFi layer 1. We're targeting at least 1 billion TVL by 2026, with most of the active or active RWAs with the real users and real utilities. We're going to onboarding at least 50 plus institutional players globally. We're almost there already. We're going to have multiple stablecoins issuers. We're going to start with the native USDC, and we have been partnered up with multiple other stablecoin issuers. So again, this is just the start. We're hoping to build this ecosystem with you. And let me just flash back. If you be interested in building with us, please scan this QR code, and we're eager to hearing from you. With that, that'll be all. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the amazing presentation. If you want to build on Pharos, that's a moment, and actually like there's a Pharos team here, so feel free to connect after that. So the next one we have Aleo. So let me prepare for that. Yes. Okay. So Aleo is a privacy-focused chain, and it's our great partner. And we actually have a build-a-thon of Aleo. So if you want to build it, yeah, feel free to come. And I want to welcome the Aleo team, Alex. Yeah, please welcome.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Maz and Kinjo and all of Akindo for this great partnership. I think we're in our second wave of the Build-a-thon. I'll get to that at the end, but really, really appreciating this pretty fruitful partnership. So like I said, I'm Alex. I'm the developer relations lead at Aleo, and I'm going to give you a little bit of talk about who we are and what we do. Oh. Sorry about that. As Maz said, we're a chain focused on privacy, and a lot of you may be wondering why should I care about privacy? Why does privacy matter? And I'll start with a little bit of history. So Web 2 started out in, for those of you who remember, the HTTP era. So think of, AOL, PizzaNet, CompuServe, basically these interesting websites, but didn't really unlock any novel use cases because you couldn't do payments over them. There was no encryption, so if you wanted to buy something online, you'd have to upload your credit card info in plain text, and anybody snooping on the network would be able to see what you're doing. Then around 1994, HTTPS came in and effectively introduced encryption into the internet. And that unlocked a huge $19 trillion market cap industry of e-commerce and social media and everything in between. Web3 is here. We are in our HTTP era right now. We have no encryption. All chains are transparent ledgers. So all transactions and holdings and details are fully public. Let me put it another way. Web3 stablecoin payments are over $1 trillion, or accounted for over $1 trillion last year. Less than 0.01% of those were encrypted. So all of those payments were completely visible on chain, and anyone could see who was getting sent to, who was being sent from, and that's a huge, missing piece of the Web3 ecosystem. So everyone is talking about how stablecoins are going to unlock agentic payments or B2B, bring enterprises on chain. No one is talking about private stablecoins, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Yet again, another example. Every blockchain, outside of ours, of course, today looks like this. If you can associate an identity to a wallet address, you will be able to see their entire transaction history, everything they've ever done, any service they've interacted with, PancakeSwap, maybe they bought coffee from a crypto cafe, and that person may not even know it. If you can associate that without them knowing, you can surveil them in perpetuity. And that is a fundamental disconnect with how payments work in the real world. If I need to ZK pill you any further, it's clear that there's an industry sentiment moving towards privacy. In their 2026 State of Crypto report, A16Z said privacy will be the most important moat in crypto this year. Vitalik is talking about introducing privacy to the Ethereum L1. Today, privacy can no longer be ignored. 2 weeks ago, CZ posted on Twitter, lack of privacy may be the missing link to global crypto payments adoption. And so, that's who we are. Aleo is a layer 1 blockchain with programmable privacy as a first-class citizen. And what do I mean by that? So if we look at this axis here of privacy on the Y and programmability on the X, Bitcoin was the first major kind of crypto. It was this idea of public cryptographic verifiable money. Even to this day, it is very kind of limited in the scope of what you could do with it. It's restricted to pure transfers. ETH came along and introduced this idea of public apps. So programmability, smart contracts, everything on there. And that opened up a huge industry for DeFi and on-chain payroll and things like that, or attempts at on-chain payroll. Separately, the idea of Zcash came along and took Bitcoin and said, what if we could make it private? What if we could take these simple transfers and simple store of value and add a layer of privacy to it so people's balances and transactions wouldn't get leaked? And the idea was, what if we could have a chain that took all the great privacy features pioneered by Zcash, so private transactions and balances and accounts, and add this smart contract functionality and unlock things like private DeFi and that kind of explosion. And that's who we are. We are unlocking programmable privacy, allowing you to keep your transactions and balances and everything private, but still build any kind of custom application you can imagine. So we built that infrastructure and this great architecture of privacy baked into from the ground up at the consensus layer, at the execution layer. And the original thesis was, if you build it, they will come. If you build this great infrastructure with privacy, of course developers will come and start to build all these great things on there. That thesis was proven incorrect because that may have worked at a time for Ethereum because it was the only option available. But because there are so many chains now with their own language, their own tech stack, their own use cases, it's not enough now to just build infrastructure. You have to build the core elements of infrastructure all the way up the stack. So the base layer was the settlement layer of the Aleo chain, which is what I talked about. The second element is the asset layer. So people need to be able to do things outside of just a native token. And so we, over the past few months, have announced and shipped partnerships with both Circle and Paxos Labs to launch the world's first private stablecoins. So stablecoins that have pegged to the real dollar and are issued via Circle and Paxos, but you can do private transactions with them. And so unlocking another use case for the asset layer. The third layer is one that not a lot of people want to talk about, but it's the compliance layer. So big story in the news right now is Discord, it's effectively requiring you to upload your passport or your ID to their quote unquote secure servers in order to access all their features. And this is fundamentally kind of an outdated technology. We have the technology now to prove certain things about your identity. I'm over 18, for example, without necessarily revealing, uploading a picture of your passport to their secure server. And effectively, that's what, programmable privacy allows, is it allows you to program in compliance. So you can do a ZK proof that I have a passport that is legitimately issued and is over the age of 18 without needing to say, oh, this is my name, this is my date of birth, this is the country I'm from. And that's once again, that's only possible with programmable privacy. So the settlement layer, the asset layer, the compliance layer. There's one final piece that unlocks everything, and that's the one that is most neglected, and that's the UX layer. And so we saw this missing gap in our infrastructure and decided to build a custom wallet in-house that takes full advantage of all the privacy features. And that's what we launched here at ETHDenver. It's called Shield Wallet. And Shield is the most private way to move money cross-chain and on Web3. Within the wallet, you can send funds just as you would in MetaMask or any other wallet instantaneously and maintain full control. But you can shield and unshield your assets and transfer privately between accounts, either your own accounts or between users. And you only choose when you want to shield and unshield your assets, so you have full control over not just the movement of your assets, but the privacy of your assets. So, if you're interested in checking this out, we have a booth over in Prosperia, I believe, and we'll be happy to walk you through on how this whole wallet works and get you onboarded. I have some of my teammates there in the back who are giving out beanies and cards for onboarding. You get 50 free Alio tokens if you do so. And we'd really appreciate, honestly, any feedback you guys have on, why is privacy important to you? Last thing I'll plug, again, from our folks at Akindo, we're running a build-a-thon competition right now. We just finished wave 2. The total prize pool is $50,000 in USDT in order to come build privacy-preserving applications on Alio. The developers in this competition actually got early access to Shield so that they could, as developers, could get first-class access to private transactions and private stablecoins. So, that being said, I think that's all the time I have, but thank you all very much.
Thank you, Alex. It's great to have the Alio on our Akindo Build-a-thon, and this is actually a great opportunity to build your project on Alio. So feel free to join. That is said on our Akindo platform's Build-a-thon. So the next, we go to our amazing partner, which is SuperNet. SuperNet is an AI context layer 1, and we have the one, and and please give a round of applause to him.
All right, I'm going to try to make this interesting and share a little bit about AI context, which is what we're focused on at SuperNet. But before I do that, let me give you a little bit of background on myself and my co-founder. So I got into the crypto in 2016. Prior to that, I spent over a decade as a Web 2 entrepreneur, doing a lot of work in marketing tech, ad tech, social, and big data. And this is important because when we talk about AI context, there's really a lot of overlap here. And, went to Stanford a few times, ended up building, going back and forth and being both an entrepreneur and investor over the last 25 years. But worked on early mobile products at the design firm IDEO, including the Palm, Handspring, first generation iPod, first generation iPhone, and then ran the digital side of Robert Downey Jr.'s company, did a media tech venture fund with him, had a social video publishing monetization and analytics platform that all of the biggest YouTubers, online video networks, and multi-channel networks used. And then ended up getting into crypto after that in 2016 and was the co-founder of Enigma Capital. So my co-founder and I, Ethan, who's sitting in the front row here, have known each other for about 15 years. And Ethan has a background coming out of MIT, has been doing machine learning and AI for over 25 years, built an AI company with another MIT professor, built an ad tech company that he sold in 2013, and was recently architect of Audit Board AI. Audit Board's the largest auditing SaaS in the world, which had a $3 billion exit to private equity. And we, do some investing together, look at a lot of things in AI, and we were looking specifically at the memory space and didn't see anything that we liked, and that was the jumping off point to build SuperNet. So with that said, let me share a little bit about what's going on in AI context. So for those of you that don't know, AI context is the rich user data, preferences, and prior interactions that make AI systems interpret your inputs accurately and generate relevant, personalized outputs. And context is becoming more and more important. So right now we're seeing models becoming commoditized, almost like cloud compute. A lot of consumer users can't even tell the difference between models, and I think OpenClaw has been a great illustration of this. The framework of OpenClaw is really the driver, and most people can't tell what model it's powered by. On the commerce side of things, which is something that we think a lot about, over 95% of users are using AI to pre-shop. And this is meaning that there is a tremendous amount of buyer intent in anybody's context. So this is really making AI or context critical for both consumer and commerce AI. But there are a lot of issues. So when we look at the consumer side of things, the context memory is siloed in each app. I'm sure a lot of you have had this experience. You use ChatGPT, it gets to know you, then you just decide you want to move to Claude or DeepSeek or Grok, and you kind of have to start all over again, getting it up to speed and getting it to know you. In addition, there's a serious lack of privacy. We're telling more things to these systems than we ever have before, and users are not going to be involved in the monetization of that unless we do something about it. And this is also driving app lock-in. Like, a lot of people just don't want to try another AI app because of how long it's going to take it to get up to speed. On the commerce side, there's also some significant and somewhat similar problems. So user context is also siloed there. All the context is trapped in companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, OpenAI, and Anthropic. And this is really a problem because if you look at the commerce stack, it's all starting to have AI in it and try to build up its own context on users to personalize, but it doesn't have any of this access to that data that could really make the personalization much better. In addition, even within the commerce stack, the different parts, the different SaaS that makes it up are not talking to each other. So the merchandising engine that shows you the products and organizes them has its own AI running, but it's not sharing with the content engine that's doing the descriptions, and it's not sharing with the payment rails. So this is really not ideal for e-commerce companies. And ideally, this context would all be interoperable. And none of this is composable with agentic transactions, right? Old school databases is traditionally the way that this user information is stored, not in RAG memory, which would make it easily accessible for AI systems, and would make it composable for agentic transactions. And of course, there's regulatory and data privacy issues. So within the world of e-commerce, traditionally today, there's things like CDPs and these rooms where they reconcile the data. Well, that doesn't work for RAG memory with AI. And also, in some parts of the world, that doesn't work at all because of GDPR. On the enterprise side, there's also significant problems around context. So the first step that a lot of companies took into AI was building bespoke chatbots with their corporate information. And then they quickly realized that employees weren't using them. And the reason for that is that they were instantly outdated. And the consumer interfaces of ChatGPT and Claude and Grok have been regularly improving. And that's outside of the core foundational model. A lot of that improvement today is in the pre-processing, the post-processing, the layers of RAG memory that are making up that product interface. 2 years ago, if you would have used, for example, the OpenAI API and ChatGPT side by side, you would get pretty similar results. Today, if you go and try that, you'll find that they're significantly different because the product of ChatGPT has become so much better. And so this is really a difficult thing for enterprise and small business because nobody wants to use their apps. And as a result, they can't have the guardrails and audit logs that are required for enterprise. So when we at SuperNet look at what are the top use cases here for having on-chain, portable, auditable context memory, well, as we've said, it's enabling users to go from one AI chat app to another and bring all of their data with them, which I think a lot of people can probably resonate with. On the enterprise side, it's enabling context for employees. And then in the agentic world, it's enabling multi-agent workflows so that you can lend out your context and enable it to be questioned by these agents in very specific realms that are relevant to the work that they're doing. And finally, we have the needs in marketing, advertising, and e-commerce. As we said, all marketing, ad tech, the web stack, all would love to have this data so that they can stay competitive with the likes of Google and Facebook and Twitter. But right now, there's nowhere to buy it. So these are the use cases that we looked at when we were starting to build SuperNet. And the answer to how we address these problems comes on two levels. First, we have an application layer. So we have user apps that can collect context, and this is like browser extensions, desktop apps, and then invisibly inject it back into the prompt. So essentially, we're giving users their own RAG memory layer, which if you look at like corporate AI systems, they would add a RAG memory layer to bring in all the corporate information. So we're giving individuals that without them having to engineer it and carry it across all of their applications. This sits on top of a data management SDK that allows this collection, management, and injection of data. And that's important because any other application could do the same thing as our reference apps. So you could add this to a Web3 wallet, you could add this to Web2 browser extensions, and they can all manage user context data as a digital asset. And finally, we have a data access SDK. So this enables third parties to put out bounties as well as purchase user context or purchase the right to question user context for personalization. And this enables users to actually also monetize their context data for a personalized experience. So imagine you're going to an e-commerce site and it gives you the offer of, would you like a 10% off coupon or would you like a crypto transaction in order to share more about who you are so that they can personalize with products that you're more likely to like. So that's all done on the application layer. Now, this is stored on a secure L1 infrastructure. So essentially what we've done is we've created a RAG memory layer on chain. And so what that means is we have a chain that is both a compute chain and a data chain. And we go from the user's raw data, which is kept encrypted off-chain in commodity storage, to having it vectorized on-chain, doing the search, doing the post-processing, all in a secure pipeline that is then composable because we have data access transactions. So that means that the validators can unlock this secure and encrypted data and deliver it to third parties that the user chooses. And so we can do this for monetization. We can do this for composing with X402, for allowing your context to be used by agents. And then it can also, of course, be audited. And we built forkless upgradability into the chain because RAG memory, the algorithms for doing RAG memory are evolving constantly, and so we needed to be able to add new executables to make sure that we were keeping up with the state of the art. And so that's a lot of talk about, the market and how we're addressing this, but let's give you a demo of what this actually looks like in the real world. So I'll show you our SuperMem browser extension. All right, so what you see here is ChatGPT, and we're going to put it in incognito mode so that it's not going to know anything about you. Let's see if I can. There we have a temporary chat, and this is the SuperNet browser extension. And so if we see, we've seeded it with a piece of data about SuperNet, which is the ID, and there's no way that ChatGPT could know this. It's proprietary data. And the first thing that we'll do is switch off the browser extension. So you'll see that if we ask ChatGPT about this, it's not going to know. It's going to give us some generic answer about what the network ID might be. And then we're going to go and turn on the browser extension and ask the same question again. And we'll see that now ChatGPT knows because it's pulling from the secure context memory for this user. And now we'll show the portability. So we'll go over to Grok again in a private session, and we're going to tell Grok the definition of a nonsense word. And it's going to take note of this silly word and say, okay, it has it. Now we'll go back to ChatGPT, and we're going to ask about this nonsense word that ChatGPT would have no idea what it is. And you'll see that now ChatGPT knows exactly what it is. So if you want to be able to do this, this product is coming out next month in March. And we're going to have the SDK also coming out, so look for that. You can grab up here my Twitter, the company's Twitter on the right, and then in the middle we have a special surprise. So to further illustrate what we're doing, we've created something called SuperClaw. So we put OpenClaw in the cloud to isolate it, and so you don't have security concerns, as well as many of you know, OpenClaw typically has poor memory. So we've added some memory to it. So you can go sign up and try out OpenClaw. And in the coming year, this will be coming to many applications, and we'd love to have developers doing more integrations, either in their existing applications or building new applications that use memory. Thank you.
Yes, that was a SuperNet, and as a partner, it's a great and also honor to have them. And in the future, like they will have the testnet and mainnet. So now probably you should be ready, because once it's live, you can be the first one to be there. All right, so that's basically for the ecosystem session part. And now we will move to the VC part. So I would like to introduce the Tina from the Vaficon Ventures, and here they are really amazing partner with us. And Tina, can you come here? Yes. All right. So okay. All right. Let me just prepare for the next. So yeah, please welcome Tina from the Vaficon Ventures, everyone.